But let me kind of talk about this whole thing you're talking about with market crash. Okay, with whether it's going to eventually backfire, something happen.
Got you.
You know what's worse than a market crash? A market crashing up. You know what happens when a market crashes up, like Venezuela did?
No.
Here's what it means. Okay. Do you know? Oh my God. You know where I'm going with this. So these guys printed trillions of dollars into the economy. That money's in the economy.
Printed, Pat? You said printed?
No, that money's in the economy. They fed the economy trillions of dollars.
Okay.
So that money goes where? Whoever has the most value to be shown, that's where the money flows.
Okay.
The money doesn't stay with a person that doesn't know how to manage the money. If you don't have value, the money goes away to somebody else, okay? A reverse market crash, what happened? Do you know what would happen if right now Jerome Powell decreased rates to 6%, 5%, 4%, 3%? Do you know what would happen today? You think that house that's $900,000, that the value hasn't moved even when they raised the rates to 8%, that $900,000 house is going to be $1.4 million. If it goes to $1.4 million and Dow Jones all of a sudden goes to 48,000, you know what just happened? This whole concept of rich getting richer, poor getting poor, it became rich getting richer, poor getting poor on steroids. The separation between the two gets wider and wider. The gap, take the poor, middle America's always been like this, then you have the rich top 1%, whatever the percentage is. You're going to see the gap go like vroom, vroom, vroom. Did you understand what I mean? Like this is going to get bigger. The top rich is going to get bigger. The middle is going to come lower, but the poor is going to get bigger. How the hell are you going to, if you can't afford a $900,000 house right now, how are you going to afford it in a year if they lower the interest rates to go to 3, 4, 5%? Some of these realtors that are being irresponsible just telling everybody, well, wait till the rates come down. If the rates come down, it's reverse market crash. You want that to happen to Venezuela? Like what happened to Venezuela to happen? Oh, it'll never happen. You're just fear porn, all this stuff. Really? People can't afford to buy a house right now. There's a reason why they're renting. You're not going to have a customer qualifying for the $1.3 million home. Yes, you have equity in your house, but even if you got equity in your house, you got to find a buyer. Buyer can't afford it. There's a reason why we have so many strikes going on in America right now. People are saying, I can't afford my life. I can't afford a $900,000 loan. How the hell am I supposed to buy a $900,000, $600,000 house? So to me, when you're saying, is shit eventually going to hit the fan, essentially is what you're asking for. The amount of hate and pressure Jerome Powell has right now for taking the rates where he's at, he would have taken it higher. You're going to give an update on the rate here that he would have gone up another quarter of a point or whatever that is. By the way, do we have, is this, okay, check this out. Here's the Venezuela's reverse market crash. No one in the right mind thinks that, Rob, I just texted it to you. No one in the right mind, does anybody think that Venezuela has a great economy? Does anybody think Venezuela has a great economy? Does anybody say, oh, Venezuela, their market is freaking amazing. Stock market, da-da-da-da-da. Pull this up real quick and show what happened to Venezuela's market right there. Okay, stock market. This is what you call a reverse market crash, where the market just goes, bingo, boom, straight to the roof, okay? And it looks like, hey, guys, look how great the economy is doing. Look how fantastic. No, it's a lie. It's a lie. The top 1% is killing it. The rest are getting destroyed. Watch this here, okay? You know who would want something like that? Guess who would want something like that?
The top 1%.
Yeah, the top 0.1%. Like, yeah, let's do it. I got my money in the market. I'm going to be fine. Overnight billionaires. The level, by the way, look at the months. Just go look at the months. Actually, look, do you guys really see this chart or no? Do you see what this chart is?
1 week,
10 months.
Guys, it's only a 1 year chart. A year ago, where was their stock? Venezuelan stock market, all the way at the top.
Was that
IBVC? It was at 10,000 a year ago. It's at 63,000. The market's gone up 630% in less than a. Tom, do you see this chart? In less than a year. So, I pray, and every American person and realtors and loan officers should be praying for rates to stay the way they are for a little longer. They should. At least another year or two, it needs to stay at this rate. Then maybe we level off at 6. FYI, if unemployment and things don't start moving, you know what Powell's going to do? He has to go up another quarter. He has to go up another quarter until that moves. So there's a bigger crisis that's brewing right now that most people are not talking about. It's called a reverse market crash. That's a scary side. Tom.
Yeah, and let me paint a simple picture for you. Okay, step one: the U.S. government gave out like $1.4 trillion in stimulus checks. Over the next 6 months, and we've talked about it on the show, credit card balances dropped to under $500 billion, like 400. Okay, then they went all the way back up to 900. At the same time, the stock market started running. You want to know why? You know where all that credit card debt is? Stuff. People bought stuff. Stuff that was sold by companies on the stock market. When they were saying, well, we were getting out of COVID and the market's way up, so I guess things are okay. No. We printed $1.4 trillion. People paid down their credit cards temporarily, but went back to their spending habits. Restaurants were open, able to travel, and they spent all the way up now to the credit cards are at an all-time high, right at $1 trillion right now. And all that money, it went to the stock market. How'd it go to the stock market? The profits of the companies that sold them all the stuff. Do you see it? So it runs to the top. That's part one. And part two, I wish we could find it, Rob.
This is an issue that no one's talking about.
That's what I'm
Do you
saying.
guys
It's
follow
crazy.
how that works?
Yeah.
The money runs to the bottom line of companies and the pockets of the top 1% that own those companies.
Right.
Now watch this. You remember you just saw the chart, Venezuelan chart. So go to Zillow and find me any house in Fort Lauderdale over $2 million.
And then, Pat, while he's looking, so that's going to separate, like, the poverty. Like, there's...
Wow. Very bad in the series. Yeah, it's not a...
So that, and you're saying that
but
might
by
happen
the way,
here.
if Powell doesn't lower rates, it's not going to happen. So the key is for him to hold ground and not fall for any, phone calls that he's going to get in the next 9 months about changing and lowering the rates so the market moves because election is coming around the corner.
Just scroll the bottom.
I
and find the
don't
chart.
know what Powell's going to do, but we will know, to give him proper credit, by January of 2025. It's going to be a very hard next 15 months for Powell.
And so Pat, why he's
Different
looking,
house. I know
Venezuela's
that.
screwed then, right? From what they just did, their future does not look bright.
Why do you think Venezuela finally, Maduro agreed to come and negotiate with Biden to say, we're willing to sell oil to you and we're willing to do a real public election fair even if I lose? Why would Maduro agree for something like this? Because his people are getting crushed.
Wow.
Public embarrassment on what's going on with Maduro in Venezuela right now.
I think
Absolute public embarrassment. Let's talk about my house. There was a record-breaking sale in Fort Lauderdale last week. My realtor sold it. You know what the house sold for? $40 million in Fort Lauderdale. You know how big is the land? 0.4 acres.
No way.
Our house is 1.2, 1.3 acres. On the water, 810 feet of water frontage. One of the biggest in all of Fort Lauderdale. Our house that we bought for $20.4 million 2 years ago. We closed on June of 2021. That house today is a $40 million house. Some say more, okay? Now, I may sit there and say, look at me, I made this money. Totally get it. But guess what? I want people living close to my community to have economic growth, because if people around you are having economic growth, your kids are in a safer community, you're doing better, you're not worried about going shopping, you're not worried about what your wife is doing, you're not worried about what your employees are doing, you feel safer.
Yep.
You want the people in your community to be doing better. This is not good, okay? This is very good money-wise. Yeah, we made a quick, $20 million sale on the house. Yes, but if this continues, yeah, it's going to be a very, very catastrophic issue. When you see numbers like this and 1 year go like this,
Not good.
it's not real. It's fake. It's purely temporary, by the way. To be serious, as much as we're having these types of conversations, kind of like what's going to happen here. I just hope Jerome Powell and the establishment doesn't have dirt on him from his past with a girl or with a man or anything else, or with money or with his kids or anything, to come to him saying, we have this on you, you better lower the rates. I hope that knock doesn't happen to Jerome Powell. Because if it does, it'll be temporary market going up, celebration.
Sugar high.
It'll be catastrophic for the next 4 years.